Well, hello everyone. Last week, ARPA Canada intervened in a case at the Supreme Court of Canada. We welcome our new Director of Grassroots Action, Paul Lawton. Levi brings an update on new developments around legislation in Alberta, and Ryan chats about the action items for Let Kids Be in Ontario. It's Wednesday, November 20th, and this is Quick Updates. We go over to John now in front of the Supreme Court.
Hi everyone, I'm standing in front of the Supreme Court of Canada where last week ARPA was involved in making arguments about a challenge to Canada's prostitution laws. Now first a bit of background. 11 years ago this court struck down some of Canada's then prostitution laws at a time when prostitution itself was not illegal. So keeping a brothel was illegal, a couple of other things were illegal, but prostitution itself was not. And the next year, in a major reversal for pro-legalization advocates, Parliament prohibited prostitution itself and sought a policy model that would eradicate prostitution and help women escape prostitution. We're very thankful that that law has been upheld in the Ontario Court of Appeal and the Alberta Court of Appeal, but in many ways, of course, it will come down to what this court says about the law and the provisions that were challenged in the court hearing last week. We very much favor the Nordic model. We hope that this court upholds it. You can read more about this case on a recent article on our website and about ARPA's arguments there. Thanks.
Thanks so much, John. Now over to Paul, who is right in the middle of his first week at ARPA Canada.
Hi, I'm Paul Lawton. I'm the new Grassroots Director with ARPA. I'm here in our Ottawa offices getting up to speed in my first week, and I'm really looking forward to continuing ARPA's mission to educate, equip, and encourage Reformed Christians for political action.
Thanks so much, Paul. Now Levi brings an update on Alberta.
Hey everyone. As you've probably been hearing us talking about, Alberta introduced three separate pieces of legislation that take aim at gender identity in the province. And the overall thrust of these bills is fantastic. It's getting rid of gender identity or medical transitioning for minors. It's getting gender ideology out of the classrooms, and it's preserving women's only sports. So those are all fantastic. But there is one flaw in the education bill. That education bill is going to require all schools to submit their teaching resources on gender and sexuality to the ministry for approval. Now, the ministry wants to do this to get gender ideology out of the classroom, but what's really concerning is that it could also lead to the ministry having to approve or say what is right or wrong when it comes to Christian ideas about gender and sexuality. So we want that to get struck from the bill to make sure that Christian schools have the freedom to teach gender and sexuality according to God's word without government interference. So we've set up an EasyMail for that. So if you live in Alberta, head to our EasyMail system, send an EasyMail on this as soon as possible, and let's make these pieces of legislation as good as Alberta possibly can.
Thanks, Levi. Ryan has an update on the Let Kids Be action items for Ontario.
Hey there, thanks a lot, Levi, for bringing us up to date on what's going on with that Alberta legislation. Even though we do have some concerns with that legislation, we're very grateful that they're continuing to push this issue forward and continuing to tackle the issue of medical transitioning of minors. Now, here in Ontario, we heard just this past week again of publicly funded school boards bringing the transgender ideology into the classrooms, into schools for students to hear about. And we also know that if you want to stop the medical transitioning of minors, you also need to stop the social transitioning of minors, and that continues to happen in schools across the country. That's why we're pushing forward on our Let Kids Be campaign here in Ontario, and we want you to get involved. Head on over to letkidsbe.ca, click on that Take Action tab, and choose the action item that you want to do. But I also want to draw to your attention one particular action item that we're asking people to do, and that is have meetings with their MPPs. They need to hear from us on this issue, even if you think that they agree with you on this issue. So click the link below, fill out the form, and we'll help make sure you have a great meeting. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Ryan. That's it for Quick Updates. Thanks to you for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.